Hi, welcome to Web Below. Today, I'm going to teach you HTML from scratch. So, what's HTML? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It tells the browser what to show like text, images, buttons, and links. Every website starts with HTML. So, if you want to become a web developer, you must learn HTML. Think of it like building a house. HTML is like the walls and rooms. It builds a basic shape and structure. CSS is like the paint and decorations. It makes the house look nice and colorful. And JavaScript is like the electricity in appliances. It makes the house do things like turn on lights, open doors, and etc. So you use HTML to display text, video, audio, button, links on your web page, and CSS to make it look nice. And then you add JavaScript to make it interactive. And the cool thing is, HTML is very easy to learn. And here is the best part. Even beginners can earn around $40,000 to $60,000 a year. And that goes up as you keep learning. So are you excited now? If so, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and leave us a comment in the comment section down below. This helps a lot with the YouTube algorithm. Alright, so before we dive into coding in HTML, let me show you a quick demonstration of what HTML and CSS and JavaScript can do together. Alright, so this is a calculator that I have created with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. If I refresh my browser, you can see it's fully animated. And if I click 9 plus 9, and you can see it says that it equals to 18. Alright, so now what if I remove JavaScript? So let me remove JavaScript to see what will happen. Now that we have removed JavaScript, if we press 9, it does nothing. If we press plus, it does nothing. If we press 9 again, it does nothing. So without JavaScript, it does nothing because JavaScript is what makes it interactive. So now let's go ahead and move CSS to see what will happen. Now, if I refresh, and as you can see, now it does not have any colors, no animation, no nothing at all. It's ugly, right? So HTML is the structure, and CSS is the style sheet, and JavaScript make it interactive. So now what will you need to start coding in HTML? You'll need two things. A browser to see your website. You can use Chrome, Firefox, or any browser you like, and a code editor to write your code. We'll use Visual Studio Code because it's free and it's easy to use. So let me show you how to download Visual Studio Code. To download VS Code, head over to codevisualstudio.com. I will also leave you the link in the video description down below. Click on the download button. Now download Visual Studio Code for your operating system. Since I'm on Windows, I'm going to choose Windows. Once done, double click on the file. I accept the agreement, next. And here you can choose the folder where you want to download Visual Studio Code, but I'm just going to click next, and then click next, and then click next. And I will create a desktop icon. Then next, install. Now this should start the installation. Once it's complete, click on finish. Now open Visual Studio Code, and this is the welcome page of Visual Studio Code. You can ignore it for now. Click on this close icon, and now click on this file icon right here. To open a new folder, click on open folder, and now we'll create a new folder where you want to save your project. So I will create that folder inside of my desktop, but you can create it wherever you want. So I'm going to click on new folder, and I'm going to name it HTML tutorial. And then I'll press enter, then select, and it should immediately open my folder inside of my Visual Studio Code. And you can ignore this welcome page by clicking on this close icon. Now click on this new file icon to create an HTML file. This will serve as our main page. You can name it whatever you want, but we'll name it index.html and press enter. And the reason we name it index.html is that most browsers and web servers look for a file named index.html by default when loading a website. Since it's our main page, it's a good idea to name it index.html. The word index is just the name of the file, and the .html part it's called the file extension. It tells the browser that this is an HTML file. Later on, if you want to have a different page, for instance, like a login page, sign up page, let's say blog page, let's say contact page, then you can name them something different, such as signup.html, login.html, blog.html, contact.html. But since this is our main page, it must be index.html. Now let's start coding and write our very first code. All right, so now within angle brackets, let's type exclamation mark, doc type in all caps, then HTML. Now, this line of code tells the browser that this is an HTML file, and it must go at the very top of your HTML file. Right below it, type within angle bracket, HTML in lowercase, and closing angle bracket, and then open angle bracket slash HTML and closing angle bracket. So this is the main root of your page, and inside of it goes everything else, such as the head section, the body section, and metadata and everything. We can type within angle bracket, head in lowercase, and then open angle bracket slash head and closing angle bracket. Let me zoom it so you can see everything. All right. So now this is the head section. Here goes metadata and the title of your page. So let's create a title tag. Open angle bracket, title, and closing angle bracket. So you can give it any title that you want, such as HTML tutorial. And then press Ctrl plus S to save your changes. Now, in Visual Studio Code, whenever you make any changes to any file, it can be your HTML file, and later on, when you start learning CSS, it could be a CSS file, or it could be a JavaScript file. So remember, whenever you make like any changes to your HTML file or CSS file or JavaScript file, you must press Ctrl plus S to save everything. Otherwise, you will not see anything on your page. So whenever you make any changes, you have to press Ctrl plus S to save everything. So now, let me explain to you what is an HTML tag, because you heard me say tag, and you might be wondering, what is HTML tag? What is he even talking about? So let me explain to you what is an HTML tag. Well, HTML tag is a special keyword that comes within opening angle bracket and closing angle bracket. So this right here is an HTML tag. So it comes within an opening angle bracket and the keyword, which is title, and the closing angle bracket. And they are opening tag and they are closing tag. So this right here is an opening tag, and this right here is a closing tag. And this one right here, it's an opening tag, and this one right here, it's a closing tag. So now let me explain to you what is an HTML element. An HTML element usually consists of a start tag, the content inside, and the closing tag. So altogether form an HTML element. So now you know what is an HTML tag and what is an HTML element. All right, so now right below the head tag, we can add our page body. We can open angle bracket, body, and closing angle bracket. Now, inside of the body section goes everything that you want to show on your page, such as images, video, text, anything that you want to show on your page. Now, anything that you add here inside of the head section will not be visible on the page, and anything that you add inside of the body section will be visible on the page. All right, so now it's time to open our HTML website on our browser. And to do that, go to your project folder and double click on this index right here, and it should open your HTML website. Now, if you head over to your website tab, you can see your title. It says HTML tutorial. So now let's put the browser and the code editor side by side. And you can click on this file icon right here to close this tab so you can see everything clearly. And now you want to display some text on your HTML website, right? You can use the H1 tag by only type H1 and press enter, and it should autocomplete for you. And now inside of it, you can just type whatever you want. For instance, welcome to Webglow. Oh, welcome to Webglow, and press Ctrl plus S to save. And now, if you refresh your browser, you should see a big text that says welcome to Webglow. Now, the H1 tag stands for heading, and it's used to display the heading section of your website. And as you can see, it's very big and bold. And there is also the H2 tag. So right below the H1 tag, type H2 and press enter. And now you can type something like subscribe to Webglow and press Ctrl plus S to save. If you refresh your browser, and now as you can see, you have a text that says subscribe to Webglow. And the H2 is smaller than the H1. And there is also H3, H4, H5 to H6. And there is no H7, H8. So let's go ahead and create H3. And inside of it, you can type whatever you want. Okay, let's say learn HTML, and then H4, and let's say learn CSS, and then H5, and let's say learn JavaScript, and then H6, and let's say learn React. Now, it's very annoying to be refreshing your browser whenever you make any changes to your HTML file, right? So what if you had something that could refresh your browser for you anytime you make any changes to your HTML file? So yes, we do have it. We have an extension that can refresh our browser for us whenever we make any changes to our HTML file. And that extension is Live Server. And to install Live Server, you just click on this extension icon right here, click on it. And now you can type inside of this input field, Live Server. Now you can click on it. Let me make it bigger so you can see everything. All right, so now for me, it says disable because I already have it installed. But for you, it should say something like install. So just click on the install button. And once it's done, you can just close this tab. Now, just to show you how it works, press Ctrl plus S to save everything. And you can close your browser. Now, click on your HTML file and then right click, then scroll all the way down and click on Open with Live Server. This will open your HTML website on your browser. And there you go. And as you can see, it just opened your HTML website on your browser. And now you can see that you have a big text and you have a smaller one and a smaller one and a smaller one and a smaller one and a smaller one. So you could say something like H1, you can say something like H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. All right, and there is also the P tag, which stands for paragraph. So right below the H6, type P, press enter. It should autocomplete for you. And inside of it, you can display something like, I don't really know what to display, like, I love Jesus, all right? So now press Ctrl plus S to save everything. And here you have your paragraph. All right, now if you want some random text to play around with, you can just come right below the P tag and type P one more time. And now inside of it, you can type the keyword lorem and press enter and Ctrl plus S to save everything. And now you have some random text to play around with. And of course, it is not understandable because it's not written in English. So it could be some Asian text, or maybe it could be some Roman text. So I don't really know, guys, to be honest. But anyways, so if you want some random text, you can always type the lorem keyword and press enter, and you will have some text to play around with. All right, and there is also the BR tag. So the BR tag stands for line break, and it's used to insert a line break. So if you want to have a line break right after the H1, you can type BR, and it does not need a closing tag. So you can just type opening angle bracket and BR and then closing angle bracket. All right, so now right after the H2, we will also add a line break. Let's say BR, press enter, and right after the H3, let's say BR, enter, and here as well, let's say BR and enter, and here as well, we can say BR and press enter, and right after the H6 as well, BR and enter. Now, if you press Ctrl plus S to save, and now as you can see, you have some line break. You have a line break right after the H1, right after the H2, right after the H3, right after the H4, and right after the H5, right after the H6. All right, so now you can remove everything because we are going to learn some more tags. Press Ctrl plus S to save. Well, now let's talk about the strong tag. The strong tag is used to display bold text. So just type strong, enter, and inside of it you can type something like web glow, Control plus S to save. And here, as you can see, you have a bold text. And there is also the EM tag, which is used to display italic text. So just type EM, and inside of it you can type something uh, like this video, Control plus S to save. And as you can see, now you have an italic text. All right. And now there is also the del tag, which is used to display deleted text or crossed out text. Now, right below the EM tag, just type del, enter. Well, now instead of this del tag, you can type anything you want. Let's type something like, let's say, I don't really know what to type. Okay, let's say Apple. All right, Control plus S to save. And now, as you can see, you have a deleted text. All right, so now the del tag can be used, for instance, like if you have an e-commerce website and you want to display your current product price and your previous product price. All right, so let's delete everything. Press Ctrl plus S to save. So now let's say that you have your product, right? And you want to display the current price and you want to display the previous price. All right, let's use the H2. Let's say H2 and press enter. And now we can say product price. Control plus S to save. Now we can use the P tag to display the current price. We can say the current price is, let's say, $100. Um, but here, let's type, to make it a little bit more cool, let's type price and colon. You know what? Let's type current price instead. Current price. All right. So now current price is $100, right? All right. So now we can use the del tag to display the previous price. But instead of just writing everything inside of the del tag, we can use a p tag, and now we can type previous price. And of course, some tag can be used inside of another tag, and you will learn that as you go. As you keep on coding in HTML, you will learn more about that. All right, so now instead of this p tag, we can use the del tag to display the previous price. All right, so now let's just type del. It should autocomplete. And now we can display the previous price. So let's say that the previous price was $120. Let's put the dollar sign in front of it. Press Ctrl plus S to save. And now you have the current price, which is $100, and you have the previous price, which is $120. All right, so now we also have the mark tag, which is used to highlight important text. Um, let's use the p tag, and inside of it, let's use the keyword lorem. All right, so now we have lots of text. Let me make it readable for you. Now Control plus S to save. All right, so now let's say that you want to highlight this part right here. You can cut it, and now you can type mark, press enter. It should autocomplete for you. It comes in pairs. All right, so now inside of this mark tag, you can just type the text that you've just copied and press Ctrl plus S to save. Now the text is highlighted. All right, guys, this is how we close the first part of this full HTML course. So in this first part, we have learned what HTML is. We download Visual Studio Code. We learn about tag. In the next part, we learn about HTML attribute, how to display images, videos, audios on your website, and links. If you've enjoyed this very first part of this full HTML course, so like this video, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss the second part. Leave us a comment in the comment section down below because it helps a lot with the YouTube algorithm. Bye. See you in the next part of this full HTML course. Hi, welcome back to Webbelow. This is the second part of our full HTML course. In this lesson, you'll learn how to create ordered and unordered lists, how HTML attributes work, how to comment your code, and how to display images on your website. So let's get started. You can remove all of this code and press Ctrl plus S to save as usual. First of all, let's learn about ordered list and unordered list in HTML. The unordered list is used to create a list where the order of the items doesn't matter. It's called an unordered list because it just adds bullet points in front of each item. To create an unordered list, type UL and enter. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see everything. All right, this tag comes in pairs because we will add some item inside of it. So now the keyword UL stand for unordered list. So inside of this UL tag, which stand for unordered list, type LI and press enter. And here you can type something like Apple. Well, the LI tag stand for list item, and it usually used inside of the UL tag, which stand for unordered list. So now, right below it, type li again, and we can type mango. Now, let's add another one, li, enter, and in here we can add another item. It can be, let's say, banana. All right, so now we have three items inside of our list. We have apple, mango, and banana. And as you can see, when using the unordered list, it adds bullet points in front of each item. In front of apple, we have a bullet point. In front of mango, we have another bullet point. In front of banana, we have another bullet point. So we use the unordered list when the order of items doesn't matter. And now the UL tag comes in pairs, an opening tag and a closing tag, and as well as the li tag. The li tag comes in pairs. So an opening tag and a closing tag. So whenever you see a tag that comes in pairs, it means there is content that goes inside of it. All right, so now let's move on. Now let's learn about ordered list. Well, an ordered list is used when the order matters, like when you're listing steps or tasks. All right, let's use the ordered list to create some tasks. Right below this UL tag, type OL and press enter. Now inside of it, let's add our very first task, LI, press enter, and we can say wake up, and then second task, li, have a breakfast. Now let's add our third task, li and learn HTML. Now, if you press Ctrl plus S to save, now as you can see, you have first task, second task, and third task. And instead of bullet points, it add numbers in front of each task. Now you have task 1, task 2, and task 3. Now I'll teach you how to comment your HTML code. If you want to comment your HTML code, all you have to do is copy the code that you want to comment, copy it, and then you can completely remove it. And now open angle bracket, exclamation mark, and then double dash. And as you can see, it's just autocomplete for me. But if it does not autocomplete for you, you can just type double dash again and then closing angle bracket. Inside of these, you can just paste your code, the HTML code that you want to comment. You can paste the entire code that you want to comment and then press Ctrl plus S to save. And as you can see, we just commented out a list and now you cannot see your list anymore. It is not showing up on the page anymore. All right, so now let's learn about HTML attributes. What are HTML attributes? Attributes in HTML give extra information about the element. They always go inside the opening tag and they usually come in a name and value pair. All right, so now let's see how attributes work by adding an image to our website using the img tag. So first of all, go to your project folder and in here, you can just add an image, any image that you want. It can be PNG or JPG. So let's just add an image. I will just paste an image here inside of my project folder and I will rename it. You can rename it if you want, but make sure that you name it something simple. For instance, my image, or you can just name it image and press enter. And now let's move back to our Visual Studio Code. If you click on this file icon right here, and you can see your image here. If you click on it, you should be able to see your image. You should be able to view your image. Clicking on this closing icon right here. And you can also close this tab as well by clicking on this file icon again. All right, so now you can remove the code inside of the body section. And again, let's put the code editor in the browser side by side. All right, so now you can just go ahead and press Ctrl plus S to save everything. We will use the image tag to learn about HTML attributes. So just type img, which stands for image. It's just an image tag, and you will use it to display image on your website. And you will use it a lot. Press enter. And inside of these double quotes, you can just type your image name, image.png, and type enter. And inside of here, you can add a description for your image, my image. All right. So now this is an attribute, and this as well is an attribute. And as I said earlier, they usually come in a name and value pair. This is the name of the attribute, SRC, which stands for source. And this is the value, which is our image in this case. So the name of the attribute and the value. This SRC right here stands for source, as I said earlier. It tells the browser where to find the image, which is our image in this case. And here is our image, image.png. This alt attribute right here stands for alternative text. And the alt attribute is like a description of the image. It shows up if the image doesn't load. And it also helps screen readers describe the image to people who can't see it. So now you know about the alt attribute. and about the src attribute. And there is a lot and a lot and a lot and a lot of attribute in HTML. And you will learn about all of these attributes as you keep on coding in HTML, as you keep on building project in HTML. You will learn about all of these attributes. And of course, I will take my time to teach you about all of these attributes as well. Yes, that's what I'm here for. All right, so now you have your image tag and you have the src attribute with its value, which is the image that you want to display on your website. And you also have the alt attribute, which can be used in case that the image doesn't load on your website. It's like the image description in case that something happened. Okay, let's say that the image cannot load on your website, that my image text will show up on your website. All right, so now if you press Ctrl plus S to save, you should immediately see your image. But the only problem is the image is too big, so we have to resize it a little bit. So let's say width equal to 100 or 200, and let's say height equal to 200 as well. And let me just make it smaller so you can see everything. um, Let me put this right here. Okay, so now you should be able to see everything. So make sure that you write it as I wrote it. width equal double quotes 200. height equal double quotes and 200. All right, so now press Ctrl plus S to save. The width and height attributes are used to change the size of an image. Width controls how wide the image is, and height controls how tall it is. So if your image is too big, you can give it a width of 200 pixel. So if you give it a width of 200 pixel, it'll be 200 pixel wide. And if you give it a height of 200 pixel, so it'll be 200 pixel tall. So now I'm going to explain to you what pixel are. You heard me saying pixels, 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 and I know not everybody knows what pixels are. So I'm going to explain to you what pixels are. Pixels are how we measure size on a screen. So if you set your image width to 200, so now your image will be set to 200 pixel wide from left to right. And if you set the height of your image to 200 pixel as well, so now your image will be 200 pixel tall from top to bottom. So now you know what pixels are. And one more time, pixels are how we measure size on a screen. Now, if you open your browser and right click anywhere on your browser and click on inspect, this is called the DevTools. It lets you visualize your code, edit your code, and so on. If you hover over your image tag, and as you can see, your image is highlighted. And now, if you hover over your image name, image.png, and as you can see the link of your image. All right. So now, if you right click and scroll all the way up, and you can click on edit as HTML, now you will be able to edit your code. Right below it, type opening angle bracket, then H1, then closing angle bracket. And you already know what is an H1 tag because I explained this to you in the first part of this full HTML course. So inside of it, you can type subscribe to WebGlow, click anywhere outside, and there you go. So now you have a text that says subscribe to Web Glow. All right, and yes, you can subscribe to our channel, and you can also give this video a thumbs up and leave us any comment in the comment section down below because it helps a lot with the YouTube algorithm, like anything that you want. If you find this tutorial helpful, you can just leave us a comment in the comment section down below. Keep in mind, the changes that you make here are temporary. As soon as you refresh your browser, everything goes back to normal. Your original code stays the same. So now, if you refresh your browser, and as you can see, everything came back to normal. Now, if you hold the left edge of your DevTools window and drag it to the left or to the right, and look at the very top, you can see the width and height of your website on different screen sizes, phones, tablets, or laptops. The first number you see, the one that say 500 pixel, is the width. It shows how many pixels wide the screen is. And the second one, the one that says 428 pixels, the second number is the height. And it shows how many pixels tall it is. And as you can see, as long as you keep on dragging it to the left and to the right, the width keeps changing, but the height stays the same. The height is still 428 pixels, while the width keeps changing. Now, if you want to place the DevTools in a different position, if you want to place it at the bottom, you can just click on these three dots right here. And here you can just click on this icon. Now the DevTool has been placed at the bottom. And now if you do the same thing and hold the top edge of your DevTool window and drag it from bottom to top and top to bottom. And now as you can see, the width stays the same, but the height keeps changing. And this is because we are only changing the height of the screen. Click on this three dot right here and click on this icon right here. Now, if you do what you just did earlier, hold the left edge of your DevTool window, and now we're just changing the width of the screen. So that's why only the width of the screen is changing, but the height stays the same. And you can also click on this device icon right here. If you click here, you can choose any devices to see how your website look on them. For example, this Samsung Galaxy, just click on it. All right. And you can do a lot and a lot and a lot more. You can play around with it. So now, if you accidentally change something in the DevTools settings, all you have to do, click on these three dots and settings, then scroll all the way down and click on restore defaults and refresh. Restore defaults and refresh. All right, so now let's move back to our Visual Studio Code, and you can close this dev tool. Let me show you how to close it. To close your dev tool, just click on this closing icon. Put the browser and the code editor side by side as usual. All right, so now you can also add a title attribute to your image. So the title attributes gives extra information about the image. You can just type title and say this is a car and press Ctrl plus S to save. So now when someone hovers over the image, they'll see a little pop-up that says this is a car. You see, when you hover over the image, you see a little message, a little pop-up message that says this is a car. All right. And later on, when you start learning CSS, you will be able to make the image looks even better. And of course, you can change the width and the height. If you want, you can set it to 100, 200, 300, to whatever you want. Well, guys, this is how we close the second part of this full HTML course. And in 3 days, we will post the third part of this full HTML course. So if you like this tutorial, make sure that you like, comment. You can leave us any random comment in the comment section down below. It just helps with the YouTube algorithm. It helps a lot and a lot and a lot. So give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss the third part of this full HTML course. You can find the first part of this full HTML course on our YouTube channel. And in the third part of this full HTML course, I will teach y'all how to display videos, audios, button, input, and links on your website. And you can also visit WebGlow Camp, where we have some cool projects using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So visit WebGlow Camp, and I'll make sure that I include the link in the video description. So see you. Hi, welcome back to the full HTML course. This is the third part of the full HTML course. And in this third part, I'm going to teach you how to display button, audio, video, and links on your web page. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to WebGlow. And by the way, you can leave us any comment in the comment section down below. It helps a lot with the YouTube algorithm. So with that being said, let's get started. Well, now we'll create the basic HTML template to get started. In Visual Studio Code, you can just type an exclamation mark and then press enter, and it will create a basic HTML template to help you get started. So now let me zoom in a little bit so you can see everything. Well, now it's time to open our HTML website. In the first part of this full HTML course, I did teach you how to open your HTML website in your web browser. So right click and scroll all the way down and click on Open with Live Server. All right, so now I'm going to teach you how to display links on your web page. Well, when you go to your browser and search for something, you will see a bunch of links. And if you click on them, they will take you to a website. So that's what links do. They connect one page to another. Well, in HTML, we use the anchor tag to display links on a web page. So now let's go ahead and create our very first link. So type A and press enter, and it should autocomplete for you. Well, the anchor tag is used to create the link, and the href attribute right here is where you put the link you want the user to go to. So for instance, you can put something like https colon slash slash and youtube.com. Inside the anchor tag, we'll add some text. We can type something like go to YouTube or go to youtube.com. So let me make sure you can see everything. All right, so now you're supposed to see everything. Now, if you press Ctrl plus S to save, all right, so now as you can see, you have a link to youtube.com. And as you can see, it's blue because that's the default color for links in HTML. Now, if you click on it, it'll take you to youtube.com. Well, by default, the link opens in the same tab, which can cause the user to leave our website. So to avoid that, we can use the target attribute to make the link open in a new tab. So right here, you can just type target and press enter. And here you can just type blank underscore, then blank underscore blank. So now if you press Ctrl plus S to save, if you click on the link now, so now as you can see, it just opened in a new tab instead of the same tab. So it does not open in the same tab anymore. It opens in a new tab. So that's perfect. Well, now to explain this even better, so the anchor tag, which is this A right here, it creates the link, and this href attribute right here tells the browser where to go, and this target right here tells the browser to open the target website in a new tab or to open the target page in a new tab. All right, so now I'm pretty sure that you know how the anchor tag works and how to display links on your web page. Let's say you want to have another page on your website. Since this index.html is the main page of your website, you could consider it the home page. So now let's say you want to have a login page, a sign up page, or even a blog page. So in this case, you can just come here and create another file. You can name it page.html and press enter. But make sure to create this file inside of your project folder, the folder that contains all of your HTML code. Well, you know what? Let's just go ahead and rename this instead. Instead of saying page, let's say sign up.html. So sign up.html, and let's have a login.html, and press enter. So now we'll do as we did earlier. We'll type exclamation mark and press enter. So now inside of the body section, we'll add an h1 tag. We'll type h1 and press enter, and we'll type something like this is the login the login page. So you can press Ctrl plus S to save. All right, so now let's move to the sign up page. And here inside of the body section, we'll have another h1. Type h1 and press enter, and we'll type this is the sign up page. So press Ctrl plus S to save. You can even change the title if you want to. We can say sign up. All right. And we can also change the title for the login page. So we can come here and change the title to something like login and press Ctrl plus S to save. Now head over to the index.html file. So now we'll have a link to the login page. We'll have a link to the sign up page as well. So let's copy this and paste it to time. So now here you can remove this YouTube link, and now we can type login.html and press enter. And here as well, we can remove this YouTube link right here, and we can type sign up.html, and here we can change the text as well. We can type something like go to the login page, and here we can type go to the sign up page. And now if you press Ctrl plus S to save everything, and now as you can see, you have three different links. you have a link to youtube.com, you have a link to the login page, you have a link to the sign up page. If you click on this go to the login page link, it'll take you to the login page. So now, as you can see, you have a big bold text that says this is the login page. So if you go back to your main page and type this link right here that says go to the sign up page, as you can see, you are on the sign up page. You have a big bold text that says this is the sign up page. All right, perfect. All right, so now you can go back to your main page. Let's put the browser and the code editor side by side. All right, perfect. So you can remove this code if you want. You can copy it and paste it somewhere, or you can even comment out this code if you want to. But I'm going to delete them because I don't want them anymore. So now we are going to learn how to display button on our web page. So to display button on your web page, all you have to do is type button and press enter. It should autocomplete for you. If it does not autocomplete for you, you can just type less than slash button and greater than. Well, now inside a button, we'll have some text. You can type something like subscribe and press Ctrl plus S to save. And now, as you can see, you have a button that says subscribe. So now you have a subscribe button on your web page. All right, so perfect. Well, now if you know CSS, you could add some pretty cool style to this button element right here. But unfortunately, since you don't know CSS, you can just leave it like that. It's look a little bit ugly, but it's okay. It's all right. You can just leave it like that. In the upcoming full CSS course, I'll show you how to style your HTML website to make it look nice. Alright, so now I'm going to teach you how to display an audio file on your web page. Well, to display audio on your web page, all you have to do is type audio and press enter, and you can delete this S or C attribute. Alright, so now we have to add some space and type control enter. And don't worry about these things. I'm going to explain them to you one by one. So now inside this audio tag, type space source and press enter. It should autocomplete for you. So now inside this source tag, add space and type S or C and press enter. Alright, so now we have to go to our project folder, the folder that contains our code, and add an audio file to our project folder. So I'm going to open File Explorer, and here is my project folder. I'm going to double click it, and in here I'm just going to paste an audio file. So here, as you can see, here is my audio file, HTML and CSS intro audio.mp3. So the type is mp3. So now you can go back to your code editor, and here inside these double quotes you can type the name of your file, of your audio file. My audio file name is HTML and CSS intro, so I'm just going to type enter. All right, perfect. So let me put this right below here, and this as well right below here, so you can see everything. All right, perfect. Right after the S or C attribute, we have to add a type attribute. So type, press enter. We can type audio slash MPEG. Alright, so now let me go ahead and put this right below here so you can see everything clearly. And inside the audio tag, we can add a message, and the message can be your browser does not let me see, support this, okay, the audio element.
Alright guys, so now it's time for me to explain all of these things to you. So let me go ahead and explain all of these things to you right now. Well, the audio tag is used to add sound or music to a website. And when you use the audio tag, you usually include the word control so that the user gets buttons like play, pause, and volume. Without controls, the user won't see anything to interact with. Well, now, inside the audio tag, we add a source tag. This source tag right here. Well, the source tag tells the browser where to find the audio file. And the src part right here means source. And that's where you write the name of your audio file. For example, HTML and CSS intro audio.mp3. It tells the browser, this is the file I want you to play. And there is the type part, which tells the browser what kind of audio file it is. So since my audio file is an MP3 file, so we set the type to audio/MPEG. Alright, so now, what if your audio file is not an MP3 audio file? That's totally fine. You just need to tell the browser what kind of audio it is. For MP3 files, the type is audio/MPEG. And for OGG files, the type is audio/OGG. And at the bottom, there is usually a short message that says something like, your browser does not support the audio element. This message only shows up if the user's browser is too old or doesn't support audio. It's just a backup message in case something goes wrong. So now if you press Ctrl+S to save, you now have an audio file on your web page. So now if you click on this play button right here, your audio should play. Alright, so now you know how to display an audio file on your page. So now it's time to learn how to display video on your website. So to display videos on your web page, you only have to type video and press enter. It should autocomplete for you. You can remove this src attribute right here. Well, the video tag is used to show videos on a web page. It works just like the audio tag, but instead of sound, it plays video that your user can watch in the browser. Alright, so now inside this opening tag, add space and type control. And inside a video tag, type source. And inside the source tag, add space and type src and press enter. And now head over to your project folder, the folder that contains all of your HTML code, and we'll add a video file to our project folder. So I'm just going to double click on my folder right here, and I'm just going to paste the video. So you can name it something simple, something short, like whatever you want. It does not really matter, but just make sure you name it something simple and short. So now go back to your code editor. Alright, so now inside these double quotes, as we did earlier, we'll type the video file name. So mine was, I don't really remember. Let me see. Alright, so like, subscribe. Okay. So I'm just going to type like and press enter. It should autocomplete for me. Alright, perfect. So let me put this right here so you can see everything. Let me put this right here, right below here. So now, right after the src attribute, we have to add the type. So as we did earlier, add space and type, and the type should be, since my file is an MP4, so I'm just going to type video/MP4 and press enter. As we did earlier for the audio tag, right below here, we can add a message. So the message will be, your browser does not support the video tag. All right, so your browser does not support the video tag. All right, perfect. Since my video file is an MP4 file, so I added video slash MP4. And again, this works just like the audio tag that we learned earlier. We use the source tag to tell the browser where the video is and what type it is. The src attribute and the type attribute work exactly the same way. So now you can just press Ctrl plus S to save. And now, as you can see, you have a video on your web page. But the thing is, it's very big. So it's pretty ugly because it's very big. So we have to resize it. So we can put the code editor and the browser side by side. And we can come here, space, first of all, add some space, first of all. And then you can type width. And we can set it to 400 and press Ctrl plus S to save. And now it's look a little bit better. So I think I'm going with 200. So all right, so now it's even better. And now if you click on the play button, your video should play. And you also have a bunch of other buttons right here, such as the volume button and so on. And we already talked about the width attribute back when we were learning the image tag. It works the same way.
Guys, that's how we close the third part of this full HTML course. In the fourth part, I'm going to teach you how to display different type of inputs on your web page. Email input, password input, text input, and so on. So make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss the fourth part. Bye. Hi guys, welcome back to the full HTML course. This is the fourth part of the full HTML course. And in this fourth part, I'm going to teach you how to display different types of input on your web page. The input tag in HTML is like a little box where people can type stuff into a web page. You use it to get information from users like their name, email, password, date, or even a file. There are many types of input in HTML, and each one has its own special job. So first of all, let's learn how to display a text input on our web page. So to display a text input on your web page, all you have to do is come down here and type. First of all, let's create an H1, and let's say this is a text input. All right, perfect. So now let me increase it a little bit so you can see everything. All right, perfect. So now right below here, we can type input and press enter. It should autocomplete for you. Make sure to set the type to text. All right, so now let's learn how to display a password input as well. So come down here and type input. First of all, let's type H1, and inside it you can type this is a password input. All right, perfect. So now right below here you can type input and press enter, and make sure to set the type to password. Password, okay, perfect. So now let's also learn how to display an email input. So come all the way here and type H1, press enter. It should autocomplete for you. This is an email input. Okay. So now come down here and type input. Set the type to email. Okay, so now let's also create a number input. H1, sorry, H1. This is a number input.
and come down here, input, and set the type to number. Sorry, number. And let's create a date input as well. So come down here and h1. This is a date input and type input and set the type to date. And now let's also create a color input. Come down here, h1. This is a color input, and right below here type input and set the type to color. Perfect. And let's also create a file input, h1. This is a file input, and come down here and type input. All right, so now let me go ahead and explain all of this thing to you right now. So now the text input lets the user type plain text like their name or a message. And the password input lets the user type a password but hides the characters. And the email input lets the user enter email addresses. And the number input only allows number and show little arrows to go up and down. And the date input shows a calendar so the user can pick a date. And the color input opens a color picker so you can choose any color you want. And the file input opens the user's device to upload a file. Well, now, if you open your website, and now as you can see, you have a text input, you have a password input, you have an email input, and you have a number input, and you have a date input, and you have a color input, and you have a file input. Well, now let's type some text inside a text input. So I'm going to type WebGlow. As you can see, it lets me write text. If you know CSS, you would be able to style it. You would be able to make it look very nice. But don't worry, because in the upcoming CSS full course, I will teach you how to style your input field. I will teach you how to style your web page. I will teach you how to add animation to your web page, how to make your web page look very, very, very nice. All right, so now let's type some text inside the password input to see what will happen. My password 123, and as you can see, it hides the text. So if you click on this little icon, if you click on this eye icon right here, and as you can see, now it shows the password. And if you click back, now as you can see, it hides the password. So now inside the email input, type whatever you want. Let's say I don't really know what to type. Let me see. Let me think of an email. Let's say ellen@gmail.com. Okay. So now if you hover over it, it says nothing. There is no error. Let's remove the at right here. If you hover over it, as you can see, you have a little message right here that says, please include a NAT in the email address. It's only saying it because this is an email input and you have to add a correct email. If you type at, and now if you hover over it again, you will see there is no message at all. So now everything is correct. So now inside the number input, you can type any number that you want. You can only type numbers. And if you try to type some text, it is not accepting it because it only accepts number. And you also have two buttons right here. You have an increase button and you have a decrease button right here. The increase button is to increase the quantity, and the decrease button is to decrease the quantity. So you can increase and you can decrease. And now the date input shows a calendar, and you can pick any date. Let's say March 2025. Let's say uh 25th. And we also have a color picker right here. You can choose any color that you want. You can choose red. You can also choose yellow, any color that you want. Any color, blue, green, yellow, uh, any color that you want. So this is a color picker. And right down here, oh, we have to change the type to file because we already have a color input. So let's go back. Let's change the type to file. Okay, press Ctrl plus S to save. Now open your browser again. And now, as you can see, you'll have a file input, and you have a little message here that says choose file. And if you click on it, it'll take you to your file explorer where you can choose a file. You can choose like any type of file. But to make it interactive, you must add JavaScript to your web page to make it interactive. Now, let me go ahead and explain to you what the type stand for. In HTML, we usually use the type attribute with the input tag. It tells the browser what kind of box to show, like a text box, a password field, a number input, or an email input, or a date input. And we also use another attribute called placeholder. The placeholder attribute adds a short message inside a box to tell the user what to type. But the message goes away as soon as the user starts typing. So you can come here inside this text input, you can type placeholder, oh sorry, holder, and here you can type enter your name. And down here you can type placeholder, enter your password. And here you can type placeholder, enter your email, and inside here you can type placeholder, enter a number. And now, as you can see, inside the text input, you have a message that says enter your name. And as soon as you start typing, for instance, if you type Ellen, and as you can see, the little message goes away as soon as you start typing. And inside the password input, you also have a message that says enter your password. And you also have a message here that says enter your email, enter a number. All right, so that's perfect. Next thing I'm going to teach you is the difference between opening tag, closing tag, and self-closing tag. You've noticed that the input tag doesn't come in a pair. It doesn't have a closing tag. Well, in HTML, there are opening tag and closing tag and self-closing tag. When a tag comes in a pair, like this H1 right here, it because it holds content inside. But a self-closing tag doesn't have any content inside, so it closes itself. So that's all I wanted to explain to you before I close this fourth part, which is also the final part of this full HTML course. In the upcoming CSS full course, we'll learn about things like the div tag, which is super popular in HTML. It stands for container. It helps you organize your code and your page. And we'll also learn how to style your website, how to make it nice, colorful, organized, and even animated. I'll show you lots of advanced tricks, and at the end, we'll even build a Twitter clone. So make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss the upcoming CSS full course. See you